Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be driving the DD2 go-kart, the 390 kart and the CRG number 7 kart. The video is going to be ordered in the same order as the training sessions I actually did on Friday. And that order would be DD2, then the 390, then the CRG kart. This video is going to be a bit different than the last video because I'm trying to put in as much content as possible in short amounts of time. I'm trying to keep the video under 15 minutes because I know that a lot of people don't like watching long videos, and there is a lot of content and a lot of events which occurred in those couple of sessions, and if I wanted to show them all, the video would end up being 30 minutes long, so I'll just try to make it as entertaining as possible. So as you saw in my first overtake, I ended up overtaking two people actually, one corner. So over here I'm trying to catch this guy who I get sort of unlucky with, and I say that because in the areas where I do catch him it would be either at the entrance or at the exit of a turn. So if I wanted to try and overtake him I would lose a lot of time, so I just waited behind him until he went too wide and then I overtook him. So as you can see here, he was using the wrong line which caused him to go too wide, and I took that opportunity to overtake him. So I have now fast forwarded to the part where I was catching up to the kid in the junior kart, and as I was catching up to him I realized that he didn't really know I was a bit right behind him, which caused me to stutter a bit when I tried to overtake him. So as you can see here, I was trying to sort of let him know that I'm there, or at least make enough noise for him to notice me so that I can overtake him safely. At this point I was starting to get used to the shifter kart. I was starting to shift properly, and I was also starting to get used to the soft tires, which allowed me to go a lot faster than before. So I'm just gonna stay quiet now for the rest of the session. Enjoy. So I have now fast forwarded to my third session. My second session didn't really record because I accidentally pressed the record button twice. But pretty much what happened in that session is I was just chasing the kart number 390 for 3 laps, exactly right behind him. And then I realized that the front left tire was low on pressure, so I had to stop in the pit lane. So for this session we have swapped karts. I'm now driving the kart number 390. This isn't my first time driving this kart. I've driven it before just off camera. So in this session, as you saw, we were doing a rolling start practice race once again. And I've made the mistake of letting him pass by to the front because I thought that he was gonna go faster, but then it turned out that I was actually going faster than him. So I spent the rest of the session trying to catch him and pass him until things went wrong. So as you can see from the video, I was right behind him the entire time. He would only increase his lead in the straight lines because of his higher top speed, but then I would instantly catch him in the turns and try to pass him from going wide, going deep, and I tried multiple things to pass him, and none of them worked. So I fast forwarded to the lap where I tried to overtake him. I tried going in from the inside and it did work, but then when we were neck and neck, I had to sort of back off because he had the better line. I've once again fast forwarded and he is still in front of me, and this is where things go terribly wrong. So what happened is I got too close to the red and white sides, which caused the chain to break off due to the force. When I heard the sound of the engine, I first thought that I accidentally shifted to neutral, but then I realized that I'm not on the DD2 go-kart, so I instantly realized that the chain had broken off. So once I stopped, I just started looking under the cart and through the holes of the chain cover so I can find the chain. So after the chain broke off, I instantly went back to the DD2 go-kart, since the person I swapped with was done with his sessions for the day. But I didn't really last long in that cart because something else went wrong. If you listen closely, you can just hear something wrong with the tone, and as I was driving I could feel the car somewhat revving but not really gaining any speed, and it would reach red line too early. And I was starting to check what could the problem be. Could it be from the gears? Could it be that I'm just pressing too hard on the gas? But then it turned out that it was some issue with the clutch. So I went back into the pit lanes and switched to the CRG7 go-kart. So now that I'm in the CRG go-kart, I was just trying to check if the alignment is all good. I was just trying to get used to medium tires again, because before I was on soft tires, and it's only been 3 weeks since I've driven the CRG kart. It just feels way longer now that I'm back into it, and I expected it to be very hard to get used to the lower levels of grip, but I actually did way better than I thought I would. Another problem is that, as I said, it's very hard to get used to the lower levels of grip, and especially because the back wheels are very far apart compared to a lot of the karts, so you get more oversteer than you do in the other karts, so getting used to that was very hard. I always try to beat the world record with each kart and with each tire, but with this kart it always disappointed me every single time I tried. And I honestly really wanted a second chance, and this was my second chance, so I tried my best to do as good of a couple of laps as I can, and I did really well considering that the temperature was over 40 degrees Celsius, and I'm just gonna stay quiet for the fastest couple of laps, which I'm very proud of. So after this long session, it was actually about 20 minutes, and I ended up killing the cart because it ran out of fuel. Even though it had a little bit at the bottom, I thought I was good for another 6 laps. But because of the movements of the cart, the fuel wasn't really getting fed into the engine, so the cart started cutting out. I'm gonna play that at the end of the video, when I parked the car into the pit lane, and the engine actually died out as soon as I entered the pit lane, so I got lucky there. After the session, I ended up printing my scores, and honestly, I was very proud of what I was able to achieve in that go-kart. Considering the fact that the weather was over 40 degrees Celsius and the fact that I had to pass the Bambino cart every single lap, which slowed me down a lot. If you look at the chart, you can see some places where the difference between the 2 laps is over 2 seconds and 1 second. But if you ignore those couple of laps where I was slowed down a lot by the Bambino, you can see just how consistent and fast my laps were. There were actually 3 laps in particular which brought a tear to my eye. They were actually my fastest laps. Those laps were done back to back, even when I was still passing the Bambino every lap, but I just got lucky in the timing where the Bambino was not in my racing line, which allowed me to just go full throttle when I was overtaking them. And those laps were very fast, and I don't think I can do any better than that given the weather conditions. We have now reached the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And thanks for watching.